stuff,
Yeah,
rainbows over here,
but
LED lights.
the plastics are looking very good. Yeah, I'm really curious about today because this one looks very cool too. So, good morning. This is a moment we've been waiting for a couple of months actually, because we wanted to do this review, this comparison between the BMW F900XR and the Ducati Multistrada 950. You got the S version over there.
It's filled with all the goodies that you can wish for. It's the expensive baby Multistrada because you have keyless ride, you have the cruise control, electronic suspension, LED lights, and many more.
If you like our videos and if you want to support us, there's a link in the description below, because we want to do more and more videos and we want to do high quality work. And thanks for subscribing to our YouTube channel.
BMW F900XR on Twisties, and this bike, it's so friendly, it's very helpful while riding on slower Twisties to have that mid-range towards the exit. Now I've switched to the Ducati Multistrada. The center of gravity is a bit higher, and this makes it different when it comes to approaching Twisties. Feels quite good. You have to get used to it, and afterwards, yeah, you will have a lot of fun.
I think I need some water or something like that, because it's very hot outside and this bike is not helping me. Basically it's okay, but you got a lot of hot air coming from this side, from the engine, from the radiator.
So it's channeled toward your leg.
Yeah, exactly. Over here there's a plastic cover on the frame, but it's not helping because all the hot air is coming through this part, so it's quite uncomfortable.
It's
the Ducati issue.
It's the Ducati issue. It heats up in between your legs. So this fairing, it's close to untouchable, and the frame, yeah, it's pretty hot. Also, you get a lot of heat from the engine cover left and right, so while riding you feel the heat coming towards your ankles and you get the heat towards your bum, so it's not comfortable to ride in a summer day like 30 degrees. It's unbearable, but yeah, for the sake of riding,
yeah,
why not?
It looks nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Who
Who cares about the heating? Yeah. It looks nice. So what about the city ride?
Okay, so besides the heating part, this bike is very good for the city. So it's narrow, it's slim, it's very easy to turn it, it's very easy to do everything in the city. You can lane speed very easy if you're allowed to, and yeah, I think it's a great city bike because you have also this high commanding riding position, and you can see the traffic. In the city it's pretty much the same as a naked bike or something like that. I mean, it doesn't feel too big, too bulky. So I think this is a good bike for the city rides, unless you're living in the, I don't know, in a hot area.
Yeah.
What about the Ducati?
The Ducati, it's a big taller and a bit wider, so while filtering between cars you might have some issues with this big handlebar. You have to squeeze yourself, work with the handlebar, work with the bike, but yeah, you will struggle a bit. Afterwards you will manage it. It's not that hard to filter, but when you sit at the stoplights, it doesn't matter if you stop the engine or not, because the heat will come up. And also, if you're riding with a leather jacket like me today, this was a bad idea. Yeah, I shouldn't have bought this.
Ia uite-l.
Împinge! Să fie mișto când termin.
Unlike the BMW F900XR, the Multistrada is also able to cope with some unpaved roads. I mean, it has an enduro riding mode. I switched on it, and it also has an ABS on enduro mode, and the DTC, which is the traction control, also enduro. So besides these electronic settings, you have a better riding position if standing on the bike. The handlebar is wider, the turning angle is better, so everything on this bike is more adventure oriented than on the BMW F900XR. I wouldn't take it as an adventure bike for off-road use because it feels a bit top heavy. It comes with so many exposed elements like these turning lights, for example, that are very nice integrated over here in the handguards, but still are very exposed, and it would be expensive to drop the bike and to replace this element. And also it comes with quite short travel suspension for off-road use. We had such a great day, and it was perfect, and these bikes were perfect for these kind of roads in the countryside.
These two bikes are perfect for these narrow twisties, and the engines are magic. They work very nice in the lower RPM range. The Ducati pushes very good at a lower RPM. Meanwhile, the BMW has a lot more mid-range, so when you want to go fast on twisties, you can go on the BMW because this one will be a bit faster than the Ducati. Otherwise, yeah, it felt very good. When running on the highway at higher speeds, the Ducati goes a bit faster. The top speed is higher than on the BMW. Otherwise, nothing to complain about. Mostly the vibration level, because these are twin-cylinder engines, V versus parallel twin over here. The vibration level on Ducati, it's a lot higher than on the BMW.
When getting on the Ducati and start riding it on the twisties, you observe that it has a higher center of gravity, and right in the mid-turn, low speed, you have to work it out a bit, to work a bit with the bike, and it's a bit awkward at the beginning compared to the BMW, which is more, which is easier to ride. But once you learn how to ride a Ducati, it's gonna be very fun. It's gonna be fast.
Definitely, if you don't open the throttle at the mid corner, you'll have this feeling that the bike will tip over. But it's not true, because it will keep the line, and yeah, you can manage it. Yeah, it's the same thing with the BMW, but the BMW it's a lot lower and it feels more sportier. So yeah, we have the thing that we spoke about earlier. The BMW feels a bit more agile while riding on fast twisties.
On the other hand, when going on long journeys, on the holiday, when going on the highway, the Ducati is more comfortable because you have a better seat. It feels plush. It's large. It's wide. You have a better weather protection, and somehow you feel like you're on a more touring-oriented bike. And also, the passenger has more space, and the seat is also better for the passenger. So I think that for a longer ride, the Ducati is better in terms of comfort. What we got so far, twisties and sporty rides, the BMW, comfort, the Ducati. Let's get to the braking systems, because we have Brembo calipers on both of them.
Yeah, Brembo braking systems, but on both bikes, when you come very fast towards the corner and you want to brake harder, you'll have to squeeze the lever very hard in order to get the juice out, because yeah, it's not feeling like fading, but you have to squeeze it hard. The roads were not that good, so we had a testing ground for the suspension. A bit longer than what we are used to on street bikes, the travel of the suspension. But the difference is clear. The Ducati, even though we set it up on sport, it felt very plush, and every time we hit a bump with it, it was like stick to the asphalt.
Yeah, very comfortable suspension from the guys at Ducati. As you said, we have electronic suspensions, and you can set it up both on front and then different setups, but we chose the hardest setting. And even though it's the hardest setting, it's still a bit on the soft side. It's still a bit plush, but this is okay, because this bike is made for touring, for sport touring, and I think for sport touring use it's gonna be okay. On the other hand, on the BMW, we have adjustment only for the rear suspension. We have a dynamic keys over there with a road and dynamic setting. We preferred the dynamic setting for a more sporty pace, and the front suspension is not adjustable, but for me at least, for my style of riding, the setup from BMW is just fine.
Yeah, it can cope with any style of riding, so that's very good. Coming out from this usual suspension that you can see on every medium class bike, yeah, it felt okay. It felt quite good. You can go on twisties very fast with it, so that's important.
Yeah, but it doesn't match the Ducati suspension.
Definitely, it's a premium one over there.
Yeah, because this is the S version. It's the more expensive Ducati Multistrada. It's also a basic version which comes with different suspension system. Now let's get to the electronics, because it's somehow the same department. We talked about the adjustability of the suspension. Both bikes have the systems.
Yeah, the most important ones are the quick shifter up and down, so for longer trips this one is
Some
very
guys
important.
would say that the traction control is the most important, the safety features. You're saying that the quick shifter is the most important.
Definitely for me it's the most important, actually, because yeah, why use the clutch? Because you want to go fast on twisties, so
Yeah.
you shouldn't be using the clutch.
I think every bike today should have a quick shifter. It's a pity. Every bike.
And the cruise control.
And the cruise control.
Yeah, most
Obviously.
important on our list.
Yeah. So the quick shifter works pretty much the same on both bikes.
You have LED lights, you have the heated grips, which are very important for a touring machine. As we said, the electronic suspension, every box is ticked in regards of electronics here.
Yeah, and also the traction control, we felt it once or twice,
Yeah, also
mainly on the BMW, I
on
think.
the BMW, also the Ducati. I was riding on sports with the traction control at a lower level, so it allowed me to skid the rear a bit while exiting
Yeah,
the
I
corner.
saw that when we had a flat tire.
Yeah, so the electronics are working like very good. Yeah, very, very, very good. This package of electronics is definitely one of my favorite because I want to have everything on my bike, the safety features, the comfort features, and also the touring features. So let's go back to the touring features, the important ones, like you need the fuel range if you want to go on longer trips.
Yeah, both bikes are okay. The Ducati is a bit better because it has a 20 liters fuel tank, so you're gonna get more range from a full fuel tank. I think on the touring side, the Ducati comes with all the features. So you have the fuel tank, you have the comfort, you have the better weather protection.
So you're saying that the Ducati should do a better job for touring than the BMW?
Both are okay. You can do the same thing, but the Ducati is more comfortable. It feels like more towards the touring side than
What about the extra features that you can get? Because yeah, with the BMW you get the pannier holders,
everything is the same. You have that
side cases, top
nice
case.
side cases. You have that hidden support, so you don't have an ugly frame, and it's very slim and it's very nice to have them. You also can get a top case, obviously, on both bikes, and I think it's enough for 2 weeks, right? I don't know.
So easily it can become a touring mule.
Yeah, yeah, it's already touring for me. All you have to do is to put the luggage on and ride, both of them. I would go for the Ducati. And you know what? The riding position on the Ducati feels more like on an adventure bike. The BMW is more like a sport touring machine. The Ducati feels like an adventure bike because you have a wider handlebar and higher than on the one on the BMW. So you're sitting like on an adventure bike, like that. On the BMW, you have a more sporty oriented riding position, and with this comfort seat, which is higher than the normal and the low seat, the things are gonna get better. So if you don't have a problem or an issue with the height of the bike, the comfort seat is the one to take. It feels very good, it feels very sporty, and it's comfortable too. Let's discuss about the annoying things.
For both of them I have an issue with the quick shifters. They work good, but if you raise the pace it will fade. Yeah, it's not very refined for both bikes when it comes to this system, but yeah, you can learn how to use it. Otherwise on the Ducati you get that huge amount of heat coming towards your legs, and you get it at the same point on the BMW, so heating problems.
Yeah, but on the Ducati, the heating problem is, I think it's more annoying than on the BMW.
Yeah, it's because the saddle it's heating, and this is not a pleasant thing.
Yeah, on the BMW, once you get going and once you gain some speed, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna feel it just when going at very low pace in the city. But I think that the Ducati has a bigger issue with the heat, and it's also the vibration that comes from the engine.
Yeah, when you rev it up higher, you go higher on the RPM range, it will feel like buzzing through your handlebar, buzzing through your saddle, and also to your legs. And yeah, it's a Ducati touch.
If having the money, which one would you buy?
It depends on what I want to do. If I want to go on Twisties like we went these 2 days, I would take the BMW because I want to beat you and the BMW feels faster. If I want to go engage on a longer trip, I will definitely choose the Ducati.
Okay, but still, which is the better bike?
Considering that everybody will buy these bikes and think about longer trips and doing a bit from each world, I would also take the Ducati. What about you?
Yeah, I think I would also take the Ducati because, you know, it's not just what you said. Also, I think that the Ducati looks better than the BMW. It also feels better. I think the plastics, they feel better. The overall impression is that the Ducati is more premium than the BMW. I like it more when it comes to the finish, to the details, to the way it looks, to the way the plastics are put together. I would go on the Ducati.